ABC News, around the world and into your home. This is 2020 with Barbara Walters and John Stossel's column, Give Me a Break.
Tonight, we track them down, federal judges, at the pool, on the golf course, being wined and dined during seminars, quietly paid for by America's big corporations, companies that might one day find themselves in court. His court, or his, or his.
You wouldn't call this a junket?
Oh, no, I don't call it. Well, depends on what you mean by a junket.
The judges say these classes keep them informed. But whose agenda are they learning? Chief Investigative Correspondent Brian Ross follows the money so you can judge for yourself.
And now, from Times Square in New York, Barbara Walters.
Good evening, and welcome to 2020. When you think of judges, what image comes to mind? Probably someone who is fair and impartial, and hopefully someone who can't be swayed by anything but the facts. Well, tonight, a 2020 investigation takes you to one of the country's finest, most luxurious resorts. And who do we find there? Federal judges, staying for free. Who's picking up their tab? Why are they there? Chief Investigative Correspondent Brian Ross with answers that you might want to hear. After all, one day you may be facing one of these judges.
3 o'clock on a glorious Tuesday afternoon in Tucson, Arizona. It's the middle of the workday for most people. But here at one of the top golf courses in the country, a group of U.S. federal judges, their courtrooms and black robes far away, is finishing up the 9th hole.
Afternoon.
Across the fairway, 2 other federal judges from Iowa, where it was cold and snowy on this December day, are heading for a tough par 5.
How was the game?
We're not done. We're just in the 3rd hole.
And at the swimming pool, there's a federal judge from Ohio doing laps, while another one from California leisurely catches up on some sun and the newspapers. All part of an educational program that others call an entirely inappropriate junket.
You wouldn't call this a junket? Oh, no, I don't call it. Well, depends on what you mean by a junket.
They're all here for the week at the luxurious Omni Tucson, along with about a dozen other federal judges, courtesy of a little-known but well-financed organization which finds golf resorts a nice place to help educate the judges.
That's a very useful place to have a conversation, in my experience.
Each year, about 1 in 10 federal judges will attend similar private gatherings at some of the finest resorts in the country, virtually free, sponsored by a handful of groups which get their money from big corporations and pro-business organizations, with a lot more in mind than just a few rounds of golf.
This is the way corporate America is lobbying the judiciary, teaching judges to rule as if they were a corporate CEO.
Doug Kendall is the director of the Community Rights Council, a nonprofit environmental group that has linked the judges' seminars with what it calls the 10 most dramatic rulings against environmental protection laws.
We found that in all 10 of those cases, the judge writing the opinion had been to at least one of these junkets. In 6 of those 10 cases, the judge was attending a junket while the case was pending before them.
One of them, a case involving the timber industry and a federal judge who, after attending one of the private seminars, completely reversed an earlier position to the benefit of the timber industry, although the judge denies the seminar affected his decision.
He came back, he switched his vote, and he wrote the opinion striking down a critical portion of the Endangered Species Act.
It turns out that corporations and pro-business groups have quietly been spending millions of dollars to finance such lavish outings for judges. Here in Tucson, after a morning of classroom lectures, the judges headed to lunch poolside. At taxpayer expense, U.S. Marshals were assigned to guard the judges throughout the week, although they never did spot our 2020 undercover team. This particular seminar was sponsored by what's known as the Law and Economics Center, run out of the law school of George Mason University in suburban Washington. a school whose pro-business teachings have made it a favorite among many corporate executives.
That's the niche that George Mason filled.
The Judges' Week included 7 separate sessions, which the school says offer differing viewpoints, and that over the years have included Nobel Prize-winning economists. But others call the sessions here a kind of ideological boot camp.
It's famous as a conservative right-wing law school.
One lecturer this week in Tucson was a professor who calls himself an anarchist economist, well known for his views about who is responsible for industrial pollution.
What he says is that if the neighbor didn't live by the steel company, the pollution wouldn't be hurting or killing anyone. It's as much the neighbor's fault as it is the corporation's fault. And so you have part junket, part bias seminar, and problems on both ends.
But the judges we talked to on the golf course had nothing but praise for the seminars, including Judge William Osteen of North Carolina.
George Mason does a terrific job.
Why do they hold it here instead of at their campus in Washington, D.C.?
You'll have to ask them about that.
Could it be the weather, do you think, in the golf course?
I don't know about that. You'll have to ask them.
What do you think?
I don't have any thoughts about that.
Federal Magistrate Paul Zoss and Bankruptcy Judge William Edmonds, both of Iowa, said they had earned the right to a little relaxation, even if they didn't know who paid for it.
Well, we worked all morning. I haven't taken a vacation all year.
Is this your vacation?
Yeah, this is my vacation.
Yeah, the vacation.
And who pays for it?
It's the Institute.
And where do they get their money, do you know?
I have no idea.